Welcome to my very first Better Call Saul Season 1 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you are caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Better Call Saul, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you found that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And as far as my history goes with this show, I've watched it in full one time. I binged the show right as Season 6 was airing, and I got caught up to watch Season 6 Episode 4 live. And I did do reviews of all the Season 6 episodes on this channel. So at the end of the video, I'll put my playlist for Better Call Saul Season 6 right here with about 20 seconds left. Obviously, I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan, and I'm like, I gotta watch this show because I'm hearing really good things about it. And it did not disappoint, but I've never reviewed the first 5 seasons. So I want to do those. And then, of course, I'll redo Season 6. But it's an awesome show, and I'm trying to figure out where Better Call Saul fits on my favorite TV shows of all time list. It's definitely either top 10 or top 15, probably closer to 10th, but I'm just not exactly sure where it's going to go, and rewatching it will help me determine that. So with all that said, this will be Better Call Saul Season 1, Episode 1. The title of this episode is called Uno, and this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So we start with Saul Goodman working inside of a mall at a Cinnabon in Nebraska as the manager named Gene Takovic. Now, this is obviously following the events of Breaking Bad. Saul has changed his identity with the help of Robert Forster's character, Ed the Disappearer, and that's where we're at with Better Call Saul. But that is in the future. And then we have Saul, or Gene, going back home and makes himself a drink and then sits down to watch TV. Gene looks up and looks outside to see it snowing. And then Gene pulls out a box that he has and pulls out a VHS tape and puts it into the VCR. I haven't used a VCR in a long time. I do have like tapes of things I've recorded on VHS, but maybe every 5 years I might visit those. And then it's Saul Good. It's a Saul Goodman commercial, Better Call Saul info commercial. All these scenes are in black and white, even though these scenes take place after the events of Breaking Bad. So when this show goes to events in the future, which they do every season, those are all in black and white to help you realize that this is in the future. So back to the present time of the show, Better Call Saul. It's court time. Judge Nance is getting pretty impatient as everybody is waiting for Saul's character, now going by his real name, James McGill, or Jimmy McGill. And the judge gives the signal to the bailiff to, like, hey, where's this idiot at it? So we go to the bathroom, and where we have Saul / Jimmy. I'm just going to call him Jimmy unless it's a scene where it's in the future, where he's either Gene or Saul, depending on it. And he's planning his next move. The bailiff gets his attention, and he returns inside the courtroom. Jimmy is defending 3 young men and talks directly to the jury. A tape is played of the 3 young men, and James McGill gets, once everything is over with, he gets $700 for the case. Of course, his real name, James McGill, otherwise known as Jimmy. And this show, of course, will tell you or show you how he becomes Saul Goodman. And then he leaves and gets into his crappy 1998 Esteem and tries to leave. The parking attendant wants $3, and this parking attendant is Mike Ehrmantraut, obviously known from Breaking Bad, one of the best characters in the show Breaking Bad, and he's in Better Call Saul. And actually, he's kind of a focal point. The story is about Jimmy and Mike. And then we have another character in Season 3, and I won't say anything just in case you don't know spoilers. So Jimmy has to go back into the court or the office to get more stickers, and then Jimmy meets up with the Kettlemans as money went missing from the county treasurer, and Craig Kettleman is the county treasurer. And Jimmy tells them only guilty people need lawyers. Betsy tells Craig they should sleep on it before signing Jimmy's document. And then Jimmy's trying to get something sent to the Kettlemans, but his card is declining. Run it again. Suddenly, Jimmy has hit something. Jimmy has hit a young man, and the man's brother, who's recording this, threatens to call the cops, and he asks, what is he going to do to make this right? The brothers are, we find out later, are Lars and Cal, I believe. And Jimmy starts kicking the one that's been hit. I don't know who's who in this. And he knows he's being scammed as they want $500. These guys are skateboarders that wear protective gear and try to get fake injuries to get money. That's their job. So Jimmy goes to his office, which is a utility room inside a nail salon. Is this the famous nail salon that Saul Goodman had always been talking about in Breaking Bad? I think so. Jimmy's upset that he has 0 messages. He tries to manifest messages and nothing happens. Jimmy gets a letter from HHM. That's Hamlin, and McGill. Same last name as him. And inside there's a check for $26,000, which Jimmy rips up. And then Jimmy goes to HHM, Hamlin, and McGill. And he drops the $26,000 check ripped up on Howard Hamlin's conference table. Howard Hamlin said the money was for Chuck, which is Jimmy's brother, who is the M in HHM. The check was for Jimmy because Chuck doesn't go to the bank. We find out why Chuck doesn't go to places. And Jimmy wants Howard to cash him out, Chuck out. And Jimmy says Chuck isn't coming back. Howard tells Jimmy, sometimes in our line of work, you can get so caught up on the idea of winning. And he tells Jimmy to give Chuck his luck. Jimmy sees that the Kettlemans have arrived at Howard Hamlin, and McGill. He's not happy about it, so he kicks the garbage a bunch of times and then has a smoke with Kim Wexler, who works at HHM. Obviously, we'll get to know Kim Wexler quite a bit in this show. And then Kim goes back in the building. She actually straightens up the trash can that he's demolished. And then Jimmy checks the mail and leaves all of his electronic devices inside a mailbox. And then he puts more ice in the cooler, as this is Chuck's house. And Chuck suffers from electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Jimmy tells Chuck he's got to cash out. Chuck says he knows he's going to beat this. Jimmy tells Chuck he's broke. He can't keep paying for both of them. And he's like, I never asked you to pay. I've got money. And Howard has also given Chuck a check. Jimmy says Hamlin is making Chuck a chump. Chuck yells, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to pick up where I left off. Jimmy says, sorry, Chuck. And then Howard gave Chuck's Jimmy's matchbook that he had given to the Kettlemans at the diner, and he doesn't want Jimmy to use the name McGill because he's McGill, and it might ruin his reputation. So Jimmy goes back to his car, grabbing all of his stuff out of the mailbox, says, you want to dance, Howard? Let's dance. Jimmy tells the guys that fake the getting injured, Cal and Lars, hey, fellas, we got business. He finds them at a skate park and give me 30 seconds. It could be the most profitable 30 seconds of their lives. Then Jimmy tells the guys a story about Slip and Jimmy. He tells the guys he sees potential in them. And Jimmy wants them to get Betsy Kettleman, the wife of Craig Kettleman, with their stunt that they did to him. Jimmy's watching the Kettleman house. Betsy is leaving. Jimmy calls, 2-minute warning, direct hit. But the car drives off. So hit and run. The guys are following the car on their skateboard as they've grabbed another vehicle and they're getting led by this other vehicle. After hearing what happened, Jimmy tells them they're in for more money. The brothers follow the car to its destination. An older lady that speaks Spanish comes out of the car. They tell her they've called the police. The guys follow the woman into her house. Jimmy finds the house because he sees like their stuff in the front yard, and he can see the car that looks just like Betsy Kettleman's car. And so Jimmy knocks on the door, and finally the door opens, and a gun is pointed at Jimmy, and the person is revealed to be Tuco Salamanca from Season 1 and a little bit of Season 2 of Breaking Bad. And that's what ends this pilot episode of Better Call Saul, titled Uno. So, good stuff. We got a couple oh my god moments with Mike Ehrmantraut and Tuco Salamanca. Of course, we learned the story, the beginning of what came to be Saul Goodman. I would have liked a little bit more fast pace of an episode. There's kind of some slow moments in this, but overall, I think it was pretty good. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. And then I always give a character the episode. Obviously, in every episode, Jimmy, James, Saul, Gene, whatever you want to call him, is going to be the character of the episode. But I want to pick a spotlight character that I think gave the best performance. And in this particular episode, we didn't get a lot of them, but the moments that we got of them, I'm going to give the character of the episode to Chuck, if I don't pick Jimmy. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, or even El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please don't forget to Hulk smash the like button. And keep in mind, I cover a lot of stuff on my channel, not just Better Call Saul. Easiest way to find out what I cover, go to my playlist. I've got UFC live fight reactions. I've got end of the year movie ranking videos with horror movies and other movies, TV show ranking videos sometimes, franchise ranking videos like movie franchises, all the movies that have sequels. I rank them, the ones that I've seen at least. Then, of course, I cover The Walking Dead. I cover Lost. I cover Dexter stuff. I covered Breaking Bad, obviously. Stranger Things, Shameless, Lucifer, Big Bang Theory. The list goes on and on. I cover a lot of stuff, so there's something else I'm sure that you're going to want to see besides Better Call Saul. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Better Call Saul. What would you rate the episode? And who would you give your character of the episode to? And obviously, I know Jimmy's going to be the character of the episode, but if there's somebody else that needs some recognition, talk about them. Remember to click right here for my Better Call Saul Season 6 episode review videos if you want to jump ahead a bit, assuming you've seen every single episode. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel. You're watching the video anyway. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.